you're not muted. And I double checked. It's still there. Yep, there it is. It's not red. All right. It's important, folks, because you might have noticed last week didn't have an episode.
Yeah.
There was a technical difficulty, probably user error, but it was our fault for not checking.
Somewhere between the keyboard and the chair, there was a problem.
Yep. Perhaps on the chair.
Welcome to Critters in Taiwan, a D&D podcast about Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons & Dragons. I'm Banning Gaosheng.
Hey, we're on the internets. Oh, sorry. I'm Tim and Taichung.
And we're critters on the internets.
Yeah, so aren't we?
Yay. So like Tim said, we're missing an episode 91. We did record it. We did do everything about it, but there was some technical difficulties with some audio problems and things. And so tonight we're going to talk about episode number 91 and 92, the most recent offerings. Episode number 91 called True Heroism. Episode number 92 called Broken Roads.
Did you tell us True Heroism? Yeah. Okay, that rings a bell. Yeah. Yep. And then this one, Broken Roads.
Broken Roads.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a little mishing and mashing tonight. Mixing and what's mixing and
mission moshing? Mishmash? Mixing and matching? I think we're combining things as we usually do.
And matching.
Mix and match, mish and mosh.
Mixing and matching.
Mishmash.
Minning and maxing. So
exactly.
Hey dude, we got some stuff to talk about tonight. Because some nonsense. So hey, first off, number one, we don't normally do this, but spoilers. If you haven't watched up to 91 or 92, go away. Don't come back because there's some big news in these ones.
Yep.
So as we talked about last week, number 91, we had the big thing that happened with FCG, and number 92, we thought things were going to be dealt with, and they were.
Nope, not really.
Not.
Not really. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess a few things to say about that, but basically what we have right now is things to talk about for the first half, and perhaps things that might be happening next episode. But that'll come up in the points that we have written down. But yeah, maybe I'll just be right up front about it, Bian. I skipped a lot of the second half, dude.
I skipped most of the second half.
I was listening to it and I was like, I don't care. I want to hear what's going on with these with my homies.
Same.
And I thought it was going to be quick, but it turns into a big old battle that lasted until the very end. And I thought they were going to come back to it, like that was just going to be a quick little stint.
I think it was 3 rounds. 3 rounds of combat for 4 hours or 3.5 hours, whatever it was. It was.
And they didn't come back to where Orem sent the message, No. And I'm very interested in that situation because I think it's romantic. I think it is. 100%. I think it is. I'm pretty sure he made that fairly clear back in the day.
We talked about this right before we started. We turned this on and we started streaming.
Yeah.
I'll say it again.
Go ahead.
The Critical Role pulled the rug out from underneath all of us, and it was not a good thing. They shouldn't, in my opinion, they shouldn't have done that.
This is a strong opinion, but
they shouldn't.
I'm pretty sure it's across the board.
I was reading on the socials this weekend. Somebody made a point that I really agree with. It was a really good idea. It was a cool idea. I like the idea of switching it up
for business,
bringing in another DM, bringing in another cast that is happening parallel with Bell's Hell's Adventures in Campaign 3. Cool idea.
Great idea.
Not a good way to do it. Hey, I'd like everyone to leave the table. Okay, and then they're all like, they act surprised. Ooh, oh my God, we gotta leave. We go, oh, why? Oh, right now? Oh, okay.
You're being a little cynical there.
Matt looks over. Well, listen, man, there's no way they didn't know the other guys were they were right there.
Yeah,
they were just off
that's
camera.
A lot of people. It's like, oh, hey guys, thanks for coming for the fucking live stream.
You think they held them all in another wing out so nobody saw them? Of course not.
Right.
They know they're there. They know what's going on. This is about as close to scripted as Critical Role gets.
I'll tell you what. I tell you what. That's a Tom Segura reference. If you get it, get in the comments. I'll send you a house. I thought that he was asking everybody to leave except Liam.
Yeah.
Like when he said
Initially,
everybody
so did
leave
I.
the table, and I was like, oh shit, he's gonna get a like maybe an actual private, or maybe Bobby Diamond was there.
Yes.
You know, Robbie Diamond as he prefers, right? Yeah, I thought he would actually like come in and act Robbie Damon. Shit, it's been too long. Robbie Damon, that's right, not Bobby Diamond. Holy shit,
That'd be amazing. Next up, Bobby Diamond.
I know. I bet he's sitting there like, damn, that'd be a great name. I actually thought that he was going to bring him in with Liam, and so they could chat for a little bit.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like some sort of a weird little, there would be a voiceover thing going on. I wasn't sure. The chat was also yelling for Robbie. They were like, oh, bring Robbie in now, bring him in now, bring him in now. And it's like, okay, sure enough, he was there. We were right. He absolutely was there, just not there. It's not a good way to do it. They should have done this separately. They should have put this. I'm totally on board with having the parallel going and being like, okay, cool. The Crown Keepers are also doing a thing over here that's parallel with Bell's Hells. We get to see it. We get to experience it. I have a really good theory about it, which I could throw out now.
Go for it. I got a string on my finger.
It's right now because I don't know if you noticed or not. We did not get a chance because it immediately went into combat. They immediately started into these long stories about flashbacks in time and about character development and a lot of slow stuff that just wasn't interesting to me at all. Didn't really care about it. They're all level 13.
That was one of my questions.
Oh, sorry, dude.
No,
They're all level
no.
13.
It's good to get them out.
So I didn't know this. I had to look. We looked this up. When EXU Kaimal finished, they're level 6.
Okay. Yeah.
they finished Kaimal at 6. They suddenly jumped to 13. Okay, no problem. They're at 13. They've been adventuring along with Bell's Hells. I get it. That's cool. Like they're along with them, but parallel to them in the same time. So they've been adventuring along. Blah blah blah. But there's no real mention of what they did or how they leveled up. Okay, fine, no problem. My point is, they have leveled up to 13 because at the end of all of this, and I believe, firm prediction here, 2 weeks for episode 93, we'll come back to them again. The first half, something will happen. At the end of the first half, Robbie sits in with the rest of the cast.
He hears.
They'll just flip it.
Oh right, yeah. He hears the message from Orem.
Yes.
And
then
he
the
says,
second half
I'll
starts.
be there as soon as I can.
I'll be there as soon as I can. The second half starts. Another neat little idea that I don't think will happen, but it'd be kind of fun, is that Sam joins the table with the Crown Keepers at the end of the first half of the next episode, number 93, and he brings Dorian in with or Dorian's like, hey dude, come on and meet my new pals. I'm going to go join them right now. Okay. And they both come in together.
Because really, how would Orem get there? You know, sorry, not Orem. How would Dorian get there that quickly? Right? He would probably need some help with somebody.
So there's a possibility that Sam's new character has that way of doing it, or who knows, right?
And like thinking about Sam,
just a thought.
Like Sam is in no hurry to come back.
No,
Sam is he will sit there for episodes.
I just threw that out there as a little bit of a teaser. But my point is that they are level 13, which is the same level as the Bell's Hells, and that's intentional.
Yeah.
They didn't just pick 13 as an arbitrary number. They picked 13 so that I'm convinced Dorian can join in with Bell's Hells again at level 13 smoothly.
In lieu of perhaps FCG, who Dorian does have healing spells as a bard, right?
Yes. Yeah,
so in the meantime, they can help out, right?
Yeah. For a few episodes, for a dozen episodes, for however many it takes to get through the next part for the rest of the campaign. Yeah.
I can't imagine Sam wouldn't be out for the rest of the campaign.
No, but he did say at the end of it, I'll see you in campaign 4. That's a joke.
Yeah. And they all were like, fuck you, Sam.
Was it a joke?
Who knows? He might be NPCing like a motherfucker, That'd be kind of fun. Who knows? We all want to see him.
I want to get back to my point of saying, like, listen, what Critical Role did was not cool. I didn't appreciate it. A lot of people online didn't appreciate it. It wasn't they didn't read the room very well. They should have really sort of been like, okay, they the listen, man, the thing that made them so popular was the long form storytelling. And now what they're like is, oh, guess what all these other places or all these other D&D streams are doing that isn't as popular as we are. They're doing short form storytelling. Let's do that. Like, the logic doesn't make sense. What people want to watch is the long form storytelling, not the short shit. The little ones, the little one-offs, the little one-shots. Those are fun and all, but the reason why Critical Role is the #1 stream on Twitch is because of their long-form storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Can I pull that string off the finger?
Yeah.
Kind of, I guess, not really devil's advocate to that, but if you don't have all the facts or all the evidence, then you can't, if you can't acquit, then the glove doesn't fit. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Rest in peace, OJ, or rest in hell. I don't know, whatever you did.
That was that was the lawyer that said that. That was Kardashian.
That was
What's his name?
the
Yeah, he was a Kardashian. He was
he?
Yes. Yeah.
Cochran? Johnny Cochran.
Right.
He was OJ's lawyer. He was
OJ's
he
lawyer,
was a
but wasn't
Kardashian?
He was connected to the Kardashians somehow.
Dude, I don't know. I didn't know that Jenner was connected to the Kardashians. And then I didn't know that Travis Barker, whatever. I don't know. I don't follow the Kardashians.
Anyway.
We don't know. I feel like there's insufficient evidence that they knew that people were coming in, because when, like, just like when you have tracking shots in a movie, right? And then, like, if the camera passes by a wall, you can have a cut right there, so it still seems like a tracking shot, right? So when Matthew was like, I would like everyone to leave the table, I thought Liam was going to stay because I thought he was going to do that. And they all kind of sat there, and I'm like, okay, are they acting right now or are they not? Especially the second time watching.
Yes.
I'm not convinced that they didn't know what was going on. And when they come back to Matthew after everybody left, that could have been a different session that they did, where Matthew sat there and got up and left.
Yep. There's a couple of things that aren't. Matt was wearing the same shirts.
Yeah, I wear this shirt all the time. I can wear this again for a different cut.
There was a couple of references of the hot dog costume from the ad read.
Sure, they all saw it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like
that's actually pretty damning right there.
Yeah,
because they talked about the hot dog taco.
Unless you were really doing it intentionally to make it look like the same one, you wouldn't just bring that up otherwise randomly.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a fuck up on whoever's part.
Could be. It could be that they were like, oh yeah, don't forget to reference the hot dog.
Or don't forget to not reference it, because that makes it seem...
look like, yeah. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So I know people like I told you earlier, I was on the Critical Role sub most of the weekend reading what people were talking about this nonsense, and some people were like, no man, it was a different session, they pre-recorded it and then they did it and they don't know, blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't think so. And then other people were saying no, because they referenced the hot dog costume and the shirt's the same and the blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay, I don't know.
All that said,
there's no possible way they didn't know. No possible.
I'm on that boat as well, but I'm not convinced, but I'm pretty sure they knew, which is disappointing, because, like, dude, this is an unscripted show.
Yeah.
Don't act like it's not scripted.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
sit there and be like, oh, here comes Abria, just don't try to hide it,
Agreed. Like, they're the joy of the show is that it is an unscripted storytelling thing, and they're just, Matt has everything scripted, of course, but like he has the notes and things, but other than that, nobody
he does
really
the best
knows
he
what's
can,
going on.
right?
They're figuring it out, right? And to pull something like this is just not it's not
it's a little alienating to the hardcore fans like ourselves.
It pushes people away, because now it also does another thing. I was saying this to you earlier. When they switched, chat fucking erupted. A bunch of people were yelling and screaming and getting upset about it. But there were other people, a minority, but a few people on chat going, who are they? Who is this?
Oh,
Who
right. A
who who
tiny
are
amount
these?
who don't know who EXU is.
Who's Opal? Who is? They know Dorian, but they're like, what is Angeli's character's
Firerai.
name? Firerai. Who is the Morrigan, the bunny, the
Morgan. I
Lagaform?
forgot her name. Yeah.
Like who? Why is Matt playing now? Who? Because people hadn't watched Kaimo or EXU the Prime.
Yeah.
So they haven't watched these things. They don't know what they are. They don't know what's going on. They don't understand anything.
Yeah.
And they
Or
don't
maybe they
explain
just
it.
tuned in
They
and they
just-
don't. They haven't seen any of this, and they're like, "Who the fuck are these people?
They
Like, why is Matt over
full on-
there?"
Right. They full on just jump in and they go. It's like, well, no intro, no
Nothing.
introduction, no nothing. Just boom, they're in. Like we're supposed to know everything that's going on. And I've said this to you before. Their style, specifically Abria's style of DMing, while it's entertaining, is not interesting for me to watch. It's not my style of D&D. I find it slightly obnoxious. I find it bratty. I find it a little bit too modern and too cool. It's not. I know I'm sounding like a fucking old man here, but whatever. That's what I am. It's not reverential enough of what D&D actually is.
It's a little too loosey-goosey.
It is.
You know?
It is.
Like, she's like, oh man, the conversations during combat. It's like, dude, that conversation went on forever. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, who's up next? Oh, this person.
Yes.
It's like, they were talking for
there's-
minutes.
There's no flow. There's
That
no
doesn't make
flow
any
to it.
sense.
Like you're it's totally cool if that's the way you want to play your game. But the jarringness of Bell's Hells, Matt Mercer's table, and then boom, straight into Crown Keepers, Abria's table. They're not even close to the same game. They're very, very, very different games.
And what was really distracting for me was that, like, Matthew's at the table, and, like, every now and then she might say, like, what would this be? I don't know, something like this and like this. And just Matthew just
I know.
sits there
Playing-
and doesn't say anything.
There were
She's the DM. Let's go.
somebody put together a clip on Twitch of Matt going
In this
and,
episode?
like in this one
'Cause it was in my pocket. I was, you know.
him get almost open, like
Like,
nope, and then the other times like blank faced and his eyes are going like just his eyes are flashing back and forth going that's not the way you do it, that's not the
Right.
right, no, that's not
Like,
how it goes, that's not what that means, that's
rules
not what
to
that is.
spells or, like, you know, saving throws or versus
All of it. Like,
checks, you know, something like
Yep.
that, you know. But whatever happened in there, I
Dice
think
rolls.
I
Yeah.
came across a couple of things, but then I started skipping it because
you
I
could
wasn't
see it in
invested.
his face. He's like, oh no, I'm just I don't want to come across as the backseat DM because nobody wants to. I'm guilty of that at the table that I play at, and my DM gives me a couple of looks every once in a while. I'm like, oh, yeah, fuck, shut up, Ben. Don't. That's not necessary. Let the guys play their game. It's not necessary. And I catch myself a few times. I'm guilty of it. It's just a thing I do. So I understand what that means, but at the same time, it's like when there is such a discrepancy and it's so fast. Like I said, this was not pre-recorded. This was right after the break. I fully believe that, and so it's a
That's his theory.
yeah.
I'm saying there's not enough evidence to say one way or the other, but yeah, because, like, you know, if, like, I don't remember the actress's name for Fierai. I don't know who the woman is that played the other one.
Oh yeah, what's her name? Don't remember either.
Even the character's name.
Yeah, Morrigan.
Morrigan, thank you. Because when I
she's
when I hear Morrigan, I think of
Lagomorph.
right. So she's a rabbit person.
Lagomorph, yeah, rabbit person. Lagomorph
Okay.
Paladin, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah, there was a paladin stuff happening
Yep.
before I
But-
got out.
Like, I've told you before, I love Amy's wildness at the table, and the unpredictableness is totally fun. But the lack of her knowledge of how mechanics work and how physics work in D&D or in just in real life like this little, like we said this, I think we talked about this ages ago about the whole idea of her trying to wrestle a giant crocodile.
Yeah.
It just it's a little too much. Like it's not gripping with reality. And I know we're talking about a fantasy role playing game here, and it's just whatever. It's magic and monsters and dungeons and dragons, and it's all just silly nonsense. But
It's in the name. Come on.
you do kind of need some continuity. You kind of need some bit of respectfulness at this table. I have no problem with them
this
playing this
table.
game in their way, in the way that they want it, but this switch was too much.
Yeah.
I wanted more of Bell's Hells. I wanted to see them deal with the repercussions.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's fair. Like, okay, I know this sounds petty because it
Come
isn't
on.
a lot of money, but
I
I'm a paid
gotta get a word
subscriber.
in there edgewise sometimes.
I'm a paid subscriber. I subscribe to Twitch. I pay for that shit.
Yeah.
And for them to fucking pull this is disingenuous. And it's slightly deceptive, underhanded, and not kosher. Okay, I'll shut up now. Go.
When they started saying, it's like, okay, so I knew what they were gonna do. They're heading back, to hang out with Keyleth and whomever. It's always fucking cool to see those people again. So I'm getting all excited about this. They're gonna go back. They're gonna have these conversations. They're gonna tell them what they're having. Like, they're level 13 up against 20s. Like, clearly they can't just go and fight them. And then eventually gonna come across like Ludinus, who's like 20 plus.
We don't even know. He's going to be mythic at that point, I think.
He's a demigod at this point.
He's got to be in those mythic levels because the game does go past 20. It's optional rule sets.
Right. And and speaking of which, the Spider Queen is not a god, but it's kind of like a demigod kind of situation, right?
Spider Queen is a full-on betrayer goddess.
It's a betrayer goddess. Okay. All right. Well, then that clears that
She is
out.
full. No, she is not. This is not a little minor deity. This is a full-on deity.
Okay.
This is a funny one because it feels like Critical Role. You know how Critical Role has changed the name of all of these things, right?
Yeah.
Loth is, I don't think, technically under copyright or OGL by by WotC, but she might be. The name might be there. They used it a few times, but it was who knows?
Oh, they were like, don't say that word.
Maybe, I don't know. I didn't catch any of that because they did say the Spider Queen. They did say Loth. I don't know.
I didn't hear Loth, probably because I didn't know what that word was.
Right.
But I'll go ahead with before rollies or anything like that. One thing that always bothered me with the way that Abria especially interacted with Amy during the EXU, which is why I skipped a lot of it and I haven't seen a ton of it, was she allowed the young stupid respond kind of. It's a god. And like a lot of times Amy would interrupt her and say something and she would let it happen and then she'd be like, well, wait, don't you think that this might have, like, you're a god. You don't have to deal with this. Like, say something back and be like, wisdom saving throw, go.
Yeah.
DC's 25.
Yeah, disadvantage.
Like, and just
it's
like,
a god.
Yeah, and then like now you are silenced and you have to listen. You can't say it. Like, fucking put your foot down. Yeah. But like Abria's sitting there just like, and she's kind of acting like Ted.
Yeah.
I know. Like that's
sort of what I mean. That it's the irreverence of the towards the game, the irreverence towards the game, where it's I'm not trying to gatekeep. I don't like
the critical role game is what you mean.
Yeah. There's a space for every single game out there. Whatever game you want to play, there's a space for it, and I hope you find that space. But it feels like it's too jarring of a difference. Like I'm happy that the EXU games exist out there. I'm happy that they're parallel. They're in the same universe, and I'm happy that Fern came through with it, and Orem came through from it. Dorian came through and joined the table, and I'm happy about all of that. But at the same time, it's like they shouldn't be mashed together. They don't work together.
It should not be a CR episode. It should be an EXU episode.
Yes.
As a supplement.
Yes, with repercussions for the CR table. Like that's 100%. That's the way it should be. It should not be conjoined. Yeah. It doesn't work. Just like
we've had rehashes of campaign 2 motherfuckers, the Mighty Nine,
Yep.
and those things that happened are things that have happened in the third campaign, but they don't know anything
Absolutely.
about it.
Absolutely.
You know, and the first campaign too, you know, like all that search for Grog and search for Bob, all that shit is in the lore. They just don't know anything about it.
All that
was,
stuff,
and it was completely separate from the campaign 3, but it still exists in the lore.
Yes.
So to put that shit in the same, like, to hiccup my expectations as a big fan, I wanted to see Keyleth. I wanted them to talk to people about FCG.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that shit right away. And instead they went into a battle with people I don't care about except for Dorian.
Yeah.
I don't. It was. Come on, man. I was disappointed. I was
disappointed too. It was very. It made I was sitting on that sofa right back there, just sort of head in my hands, going, why? Why did you ruin my Friday like
and
this?
it was going so well, like all the conversations and the deep stuff that was going on, especially at FCG. And if you don't mind, let's get into that real quick. I was so excited about it, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Let's
they just kind of like,
enough.
Really? Come on. Yeah. Not to be too negative. It's just like, dude, I'm into CR. I'm not into EXU. I'm into CR. Except for EXU Calamity, that was fucking phenomenal.
Right, but it
that's
goes
different.
so on that same vein. It goes with the same thing about Candela Obscura. Not my genre. I've said this over and over again. I don't particularly like that genre of steampunk magic sort of thing. It doesn't work for me. I don't actually really like the way that they play the game. I don't like the loaded sixes. I think that they're, I mean, what was the one, the Western one that they played ages ago?
No idea. With him who should not be named.
He shall never be named again. Deadwood.
Undeadwood. Yes.
Right, which is gone now. It's been taken off.
You can't even watch it now.
No, you can't watch it. But that was a loaded sixes game where they just played with D6s and they had the little battle maps. And it was mostly storytelling.
Yeah,
that was
if
fun.
You got a crit,
really
it just doubled the crit and continued to double.
Cool.
That's
I don't particularly like the D6, but they did a good enough job with it. Candela Obscura doesn't really pique my interest. I'm not really that excited about it. I did get excited about the very first one of the Crimson Mirror because Liam fucking hit a home run with his storytelling with it, but that's an exception. That genre doesn't do it for me. I'm glad that people out there like it. I'm glad that people out there are watching it. I'm glad that people enjoy it and they're playing it. That's wonderful.
Undeadwood had like a different production value. They had camera angles and different, they had a whole different thing.
Yeah, they were doing all kinds of weird shit.
Candela and also the Dagger Heart. Is that right?
Yep.
Thank you. They were just like, okay, the same format, without any fancy camera things,
That's right.
Like Undeadwood was like single camera, just switching between them, right?
Multicam, yeah.
Yeah, multicam, but yeah, you'd go to like this person. They all had a camera on them that could sweep. Yeah. Anyway.
So Let's move on to more interesting things.
Okay.
I have a couple of things I'd like to say about 92.
Okay, before we get there, let's do a little bit about 91.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Just a quick recap. We don't need Rolly on this at the moment, but so some big shit happened in 91. Yeah. Yes. That's when all the shit happened. Okay. And if you're not caught up, like he said, get the fuck out of here, go catch up, because it was a huge fucking episode.
Yes, it was a big one.
And unfortunately, we lost the last episode of Critters in Taiwan.
We did do a full thing, and we did rollies, and we did a whole bunch of Q&As, and we did a bunch of back and forths and stuff. And so we don't really need to talk about all of that. But listen, man, the first half was wonderful. Bunch of stuff happened. They had just blown up some stuff, and they ran away from some stuff, and
it was kind of fun how they went from one team to the other. I had a lot of fun with that. Like, I enjoyed that a lot.
The perfect way of jumping back and forth between keeping everything engaged, pulling everybody back together. Matt was a wizard at it. He was a fucking wizard. And
I really think that like Matthew would sit there and he'd be like, "Okay, so doing this," and then like, you know what? I might want to think about this a little bit more.
Yep.
We're going to go to the other side. Perhaps, or maybe he totally had it figured out, but the timing of it was pretty even Steven, Like it wasn't like 90% here and then 10% here and then 90%, It was like basically 50-50. And I'm like,
100%.
Well done, homie. That was really well done. And it was great shit until after the break, got into the battle.
Yeah, the
Where
battle
shit
with Odohan.
went down. And
We saw, and now this was, I talked about this last week. We saw Matt for probably the first time overtune a big bad.
yeah, all right. Yes, I think that's worth saying. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was well, I broke this down several times. I'll just do it off the top of my head.
Go for it.
Overtuning means like you're using. Yes, it's 1 on 7, so you have legendary resistances, you have legendary actions.
You're level 20, whether it's 13.
He gave her a few too many things. He gave her the legendary resistances. He gave her the legendary actions. He gave her the backpack. He gave her the modified. I found this out. They actually, so that Omen Archive site that I was telling you about. They actually put on there
the new crit roll stats.
the new crit roll stats. Yeah, Omen Archive. They put down for 91.
Shout out.
Like this was a modified supreme healing potion. So the normal supreme healing potion is 10d4 plus 20. This was a modified, which was 20d4 plus 20.
Oh,
so it's
okay.
like a supreme,
Right.
double supreme.
Yeah, because that
whatever.
Yeah, because they're the best pizzas.
Right. But anyway, so she's got 2 magical weapons. She's got a magical backpack. She's got that supreme healing potion, and then she's got the legendary actions, legendary resistances. She's got the exalted fury, which then reboots her action surges, and she has way too many side-eye, which is either homebrew
That's
or
homebrew, right?
or forgot. Who knows?
Yeah, and nobody else can call it out because they're sitting there like, another side die?
Yes, exactly. And then the fucking kicker in that exalted fury form, resistant to all forms of damage.
All forms. That's kind of crazy. I mean, that's got to be either Rude is born or from the backpack.
Yeah.
But I think she still had it after the backpack was yanked, right?
Yes.
Which is another question I have on my phone.
Yeah. So this is a classic case of overtuning, and there's a case to be made that he realized about 3/4 of the way through the battle when he stopped double tapping the PCs.
Stop like, okay, what's next?
Yeah. There's a case to be made for that. Now there's maybe not, because you double tap a couple, take them out, and then you don't need to double tap everybody, because then you can just go, and if the healers want to bring them up, they're wasting their turn, and Odohan can just zip over there and kill them anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not so unconscious, dead kind of doesn't matter at that point, but he did start looking like he was pulling punches. It appeared that way. And that's another point of contention that I have, because that's also disingenuous, and it doesn't float at pretty much any table.
He went to Imogen second, if I believe, which I don't imagine she would want to kill Imogen outright.
No, well, we talked about this too, because she did say at the beginning, one more exaltant that gone, it isn't going to matter. They're not going to care.
Right.
She did say that. So,
but if she's going to kill Imogen, then what the hell is Liliana going to do?
That's right. I don't think she really knew that at that point. Maybe she did.
Is Odohan really that chaotic? Is that what she is? She's just the fucking assassin that doesn't actually know anything up here. She's just out there to kill whomever they need to kill. Yep. We talked about that too. It's like she was out there to kill Bell's Hells.
And if she really wanted to do that quickly, she would have taken out FCG second. She would have gone
right.
Chetney was just luck of draw. He just happened to be that close. Matt even admitted that.
Yeah.
And then she should have gone straight after FCG at that point, because he's the one who's
knowing
capable
who
of
he
bringing
is,
people back and
who they are
with his mass healing word is a fucking devastating thing for a fighter like that, because if you take out a whole bunch of them, they're unconscious. All he has to do is mass healing word, and they're pop right back up again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's I don't know. There was a lot going on in that fight. A lot.
Yeah, quite a bit. Which, if you check out the Phantom episode last week, you'll see it all. At least
it's there.
Our episode is still up on Twitch, where it's just me talking.
It's just you talking. Yeah, I know.
So if you're really good at reading lips, or if you happen to be a deaf listener, check it out. I mean, I'm flirting with the idea of filling in Ben's words just with my best Ben impression.
Yeah,
Like,
that'd be amazing.
and then
I'd
you
like
can
to see
figure
that.
Let me before we get into Rollies, here's
Sure.
because Rollies I figured would be for the current episode. For
Oh,
that last episode, like I don't
yes.
have a ton to say
Yep.
about it because we've all seen this newer episode.
Mm-hmm.
One image in my head that, and also maybe I'd like your input on this too, is that so FCG went into rage mode, berserk mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that he's stupid, right?
Yes. No,
He's
it
just
does not.
like
It
he's
does
just
not.
like, yeah, fuck everything that's around me,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And Odahan happened to be the closest thing to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the image of like just like, well, and that'll do it. I think either Sam or Matt or both of them said it, like, that'll do it. And he's like, yep. And you see the red, and now everybody's like, what the fuck? We're dealing with this, and now he's berserk,
Yep.
which is right before Sam did his big old glory. I'm picturing FCG with the red eyes, and is there something in his chest as well that's red, or is it just his
Yeah,
eyes?
he's got an indicator. He got a little thing, a little piece of glass planted in there at the Jagged Edge was the Ruidus place when they first got there. They first got into Crevaris. They met the guy, and then she put the I don't remember their name, not the whatever they installed something on their chest that would
That would
indicate-
give other people an
yes,
idea of like,
yes, give it
oh,
of the
okay.
level, a slowly changing thing that he could tell them or they would know.
So I guess in honor of FCG, the thing that like in my mind, I'm because FCG is such a small character, like up to our hips, perhaps,
Yeah.
as a normal like 6 foot tall person, ish, right?
Yep.
And the rage is there, but they're not. It doesn't mean that I'm going to attack my own people. No, it just means I'm going to be attacking. But
Yes.
then they did have the wherewithal to be like, okay, there's this and there's this, even through the rage to aim this in and do this. Like I still like, oh, I don't like. It's not that they love or didn't love. It has nothing to do with that. It's just like, this is what I'm going to do because this is rage.
Yes.
But he did,
Yes.
like, as far as last words, yeah, okay, made it kind of sweet, kind of tender,
Yep.
It was nice. But the image of this tiny little thing on that stupid little wheel and just going in with these stupid lopsided red eyes, going in and just being like, it's such a wonderful image. This tiny little thing that seems harmless and helpless, but is actually a pretty powerful being. Going in and doing that really hit me pretty close and pretty hard. Like
Agreed.
2 weeks after that episode,
Agreed.
it was I really enjoyed that, and I'm sure Sam enjoyed telling that story for the last time.
Oh hell yeah. I think I don't have much to say about that. I
Yeah.
agree.
I just wanted to get that in there before we went forward.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I did one other thing. I was keeping track of the the Nat 20s as best I could. I have a little tracker on my page.
okay.
I wrote down there were 8. There was actually 16.
Wow.
16 natural 20s.
Double
were
what you
rolled in-
recorded.
in 91. Matt rolled 5. The cast rolled 11. Most of them were by Orem.
Yeah. Yeah, Orem, like, even without advantage, rolled, like, most of his, right?
Mhm.
He was
It's
just
pretty
lucky
funny.
that day.
The Omen Archive guys, they do a very different approach than Crit Roll Stats did. It's pretty funny. They record everything, whether it was advantage, disadvantage, disregarded. So Orem's if you go to the natural 1 page where it shows all the natural ones, most of them are by Orem, and they all have in parentheses at the back disregarded. Halfling luck disregarded. Halfling luck disregarded. It's kind of cute. I liked it.
Huh. That's a pretty strong term,
Yeah.
disregarded.
Yeah.
It's still a 1, but it didn't count for the game. Huh. I like that.
Yeah.
Good for them. Good for them.
It's a really good site, man. I highly encourage you. It's got lots of graphics. They got lots of pictures. They show all the battle maps. They show all the stuff. It's a really good site. It's really well laid out. It's quite good.
Awesome. Is there anything else I want to say before we roll?
Nope.
We're already 40 minutes in, dude.
Yep.
Okay, I guess we're ready for rollies then, eh?
Let's do it. Sure. Let's go to
Okay.
number 92, Broken Roads.
You're not gonna fucking win because I won with a nat 20 on this
Okay.
motherfucker earlier, so you're gonna lose because I got a 17, motherfucker.
12.
Damn.
There you go.
As it shows.
Okay.
Oh, I had this prepped, but it's not prepped right now. I'm gonna start with this. Oh no,
Do it.
we already answered that. Okay, fuck off. Okay. At one point, I don't have a timestamp.
Okay.
They were sitting there and they were talking with somebody because they were talking to Liliana about leaving, and everybody was saying like, yeah, because this is the only way to get back. You know, the bloody bridge.
Yep.
And they were like, yeah, okay, and then Ashley, not Fern, I believe it was Ashley, being Ashley, was like, but there's, and then Laura, not Imogen, was like, the bloody bridge, yes, because that's the only way to get back. And Ashley was like,
Yeah, right. The bloody bridge, the only way to get back. Right.
yeah, yeah, and she said it very obviously a second time.
Yes.
What if Fern in character had spilled the beans? Could Ashley go back and say like, no, that was not in character. Fern definitely would have not said that.
Fern definitely might have said that.
Right. So that doesn't make sense, right? Because Fern would totally say that. Because it's so much like Ashley that. But do you think that's retconnable? If she had spilled those beans?
What I think is that she actually that some of them, Taliesin, Ashley, and hello Kitty. Taliesin, there's a cat right here.
I know. She was been sneaking up the whole time. She started on the couch. Now she's up front.
I saw her. The Taliesin, Ashley, and Marisha really bleed their character into the player and the player into the character both ways.
Yep.
They're very, very good at it. So I don't think that it was Ashley that said that. I think it was Fern that said that.
Ashley was the one that was like, oh shit. I don't think Ashley was acting. She was just sitting there like, wait, hold on. There's that other thing we found, guys. Did you forget?
Yeah.
I really think that was Ashley thinking like, dude, did you guys forget about that entire episode we had? I think that was Ashley, not Fern. But, oh, hey, Lucy girl.
Yeah, she knows the cat's here and she's concerned.
Well, she was over there before. She's like, all right, what are you going to do? I really think that Ashley was about to spill the beans if Laura didn't say anything. At which point...
Maybe.
Like, what if it was somebody else who was like, wait, what about that thing we found? If it was over the table?
I don't think it matters that she would know. I think it matters that she could have her mind read, and then the Weave mind would know, or Ludinus would know, and that's a problem.
Right.
So
because with Liliana knowing, that's basically the same at this point, as far as we know.
Think. Yeah, not totally sure about that, because she did say, she's like, no, they don't trust me anyway, so blah blah blah, I can't be trusted. So maybe they know, maybe they don't. Who knows? That was one of those things where like that makes things interesting, but I don't think it actually changes much.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're even going to remember about that part, the way to get back. Though they definitely will, because well, maybe they won't. They're definitely going to tell them about it. They already did tell them about it, right?
I can hear the kitty.
I know, he's just right. He's just meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like it's going to come back into play at some point. They're going to sneak in that way, some way or another, just so they don't have to go through the blood bridge,
Yeah.
If they don't, I'll be very surprised. I'll put it that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
My yes end for that, very simple. Another thing they forgot about, the All Minds burn seed. They never planted it.
Right. There's a lot of shit that, I mean, it's not their last time to Bradathos. No. Were the deals for this time that they went?
Dude. So you talk about the deals. Because FCG dies, does that mean that Nanamori's deal with Orym is null?
Oh shit.
Or does their first trip back to Exandria count as they all made it back safe?
They're back now, though, right?
Yes.
And FCG is not there.
Right.
Or
but
maybe he's somewhere.
This is their second time back to Exandria from the moon after the deal.
Since the deal?
Yeah, yeah. Because they went back through the lake portal.
Oh, well, if he made it back... Oh, that's right, because he made it back that one time. They were safe.
The rules lawyer in me goes, well, you made it back safe and sound. It's not my fault that you went back again.
Done.
Right, done. So Orem's deal is done.
Yeah.
I think.
And now he owes Maury a bunch of shit.
His life.
Yeah, a life of protection.
Yep. Perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I see it. You know?
We'll find out. I'm not totally sure that actually means anything because we don't really know, but yeah, probably.
I mean, it could also go into like, hey, well, my idea for you is to protect Fern for the rest of your life.
Right.
Know? And that counts, right? I'll be in your service. So like, okay, make sure that she doesn't die.
The Chetney thing, Chetney did not bring a piece of Pradathos back.
Nope.
He did not, unless he brought a piece of glass back, which he did. Because Pradathos, well, that was his form before he was imprisoned.
Get the glass veins going throughout.
So does that count as parts of Pradathos?
Maybe that's what he was thinking. I mean, Travis is not a stupid dude.
Yep.
He was probably thinking about that.
As soon as you hear the words like, oh, that was his final form before he was imprisoned. Oh, so that is Pradathos. Yoink.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just take those, and there's my deal fulfilled.
Yeah. I mean, he'll sit there and he'll say that and be like,
"Yep,
this is absolutely a piece of Pradathos."
Yep.
You know? Makes sense. I mean, even Laura, not Imogen, was saying like, "Oh, this is four-sided dive." She was like, "What if all this is a piece of Pradathos himself? You know, like a piece of his lifeblood." You know,
absolutely right.
Yeah,
I
think
makes sense
so.
because there's no reason to have that much glass on a moon.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Matt. Oh, Kitty, don't do that. Damn it! What did you just do? She just minimized. There we go. I'm back.
It's funny how they're such ninjas with keystrokes. Yeah. It takes us like fingers to do it, and they do it with a tail and a foot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
sweet kitty though.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. It's a weird one, right? Because I don't know. They also talked about how there were layers of Liliana talked about how there was 2 layers, and the first layer was the glass, and they can get through that relatively easy. But then the second layer is like this divine infused glass that is like harder than adamantine, which is kind of a weird idea, but
which
sure.
is a different universe as well.
It's a god prison, you know, so it's like a prison that God's made. So yeah, sure, why not? I get it.
It's got to be magical, not physical. Come on.
It's strange. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff here that is like, okay, what does all of this mean? I'm still convinced that a Calamity 2.0 is coming. I still really think that's on the table.
Do you mean like with BLM and stuff, or like in the future, actually for the timeline?
For C3, I think C3 is going to be the end of it is going to be Calamity 2.0, and then they're going to go C4 is going to be Daggerheart. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you've been saying this from the beginning. You think that Matthew's going to destroy it all?
Yeah, I think he's going to either destroy it all or create a brand new world where he's going to pass on the reins to other DMs to come and play their own tables. And I think this is what we saw with Abria and the Crown Keepers is part of that, is that transition done very poorly.
So much shade. No offense to Abria.
No.
She's a great DM.
Yep.
You know, but it's not Critical Role. That's the difference.
It's not a game I'd really want to play at. It's not a tape. I love that it exists, and I'm glad people enjoy it. It's not for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Same. I felt no issues skipping through that shit.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed at the end of this episode. We already said spoilers, so fuck off if you're going to get upset. I was so upset that it didn't go to the place and then right back to Dorian's response to the message. Mm-hmm. I was very upset that that's not how it ended. It actually ended with, oh, here's another battle. So the fucking start of the next episode is going to be another goddamn battle that I don't give a shit about.
It's gonna be a very long battle that they're not going to understand how to do, and it's gonna be
The only thing I care about that battle is what happens
the
to
outcome.
Dorian.
Yeah, the outcome.
Just about
Exactly.
Dorian. I don't give a shit about anybody else there. Just Dorian. Like Dariax and fucking Opal having this romantic potential situation. I don't give a fuck.
No, don't care.
Just Dorian surviving or not surviving, because that will affect what happens at the end of the first half of this last episode. Matthew will come back and say, "You get no response. The spell did not find a target." You know, or if he survives, he will respond, and maybe he's at the table and says, or eventually at the table, as Sam. What's his name? I was about to say Sam Greenspoon.
Regal.
There it is. Ben Regal. And then he comes back because fuck you, Dorian. You're out of here. Sam's going to take your place.
That'd be pretty funny.
Who knows?
Should we do
Sounds like Sam.
rollies?
Yeah, sure. Let's get another rollie in
I
there.
want to win something.
It's not going to happen. I got my Ben. Everything's Ben now. You're going to win. I got a 2.
16. Okay, I want to talk
really
about
hoping for a
something that
1 there.
happened at blah, 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 blah. 1 hour, 30 minutes, 24 seconds.
Oh!
I got a timestamp.
Time to be
Everoa finally pipes up and says, they finally realize that she's actually there. And they're like, holy shit, yeah, this is your first time. You're probably the first Bormodo that's ever been on Exandria. So kind of a cool thing.
Right. Maybe that's why she was talking so fast.
Could be.
I had to listen back like 3 times.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
She also said the big thing that she said that that's important here is that Ludinus is in Aor.
Yeah.
And I mean, we kind of knew that, but to have confirmed,
We did as viewers.
to have it confirmed, and the cast kind of was like, "Oh fuck, that totally makes sense."
But
And
they
then
don't know.
Really good point. They all brought that up that they do not know about Aor. They know that FCG is from there.
Matthew
Frida's
was
from
very
there.
clear. You
Very
do
clear
not
about
know
that.
what
You
Aor
don't know.
is.
Yeah, and they all said that as well. And Travis was like, "Yeah, it's hard to keep track of what this character knows and what the other ones blah blah blah."
Yeah.
But a really fun thing was said there was that this was the glass has layers. That's right. And then they said that the Dominox opposed Ludinus, and that's what he had to go there for and take care of. Fun thing. What
This
do
is
you
a
think?
new word, right?
It is. There's a brand new word. So Dominox is 2 Latin words. It's domi and nox. Domi means home, is domicile,
Right.
and nox is night.
Right.
So it's home night, which is kind of weird. I believe it's
Probably.
I believe it is definitely a cat pushing the microphone. I believe it is the D has turned on so many Aormatons that they've now created a robot uprising that is like, nah, this is our place. You can't be here. So they're fighting back against looters.
So the Dominox is a front,
An organization. Yeah. Home night.
like
Get
a
out.
battalion, a
Yeah.
defense system.
Could be millions of Aormatons that have all been turned back on again with one directive.
Because
of
of D. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which he had a name. What was his name? Devaxian.
Devaxian, yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie, but then Devaxian.
When he came back to true life, he's like, I do not belong here. I need to go back to
Yeah.
Sorry. So how was Dominox? How did I always forget the name of the prisoner they saved?
Everoa said that Ludinus had to leave to go back to Aor to deal with the Dominox.
Because Everora spouted off a ton of information, like Micro Machine commercial speed. I had to go back and, like I said, a number of times, and I was like, wait. So they had the Dominox. They mentioned a couple of things that we'd heard before.
Yes.
In previous campaigns or in EXU Calamity.
Yep.
And I was like, I couldn't make sense of one way or the other. Like, how much do they know? How much do I know? How much is it?
Right. Most of it wasn't all that. There was a couple of interesting points. There was the glass points, which I already said. about the glass having layers, and they were trying to dig through it, and that's why they needed the AOR tech to actually get through. So he was going
Right.
back to get the tech to be able to cut through this stuff, and now he's not able to get it because the Dominox has sort of stopped. It's a problem, so he had to go deal with that. And
Okay, that's what's going on there with the Dominox?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, that might make sense as far as Dominox. It's like Domi, like,
Home.
yeah, like home and shut you down
Yeah.
from our home, right? That,
Yeah.
that makes sense. You know, look at the etymology of English words.
Yep.
Shut you down from our home.
Could be-
So, like, you're fucked off and we have our home. So, fuck you. You know, like you're shut down, but we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going on a limb there.
Oh, totally. It's all just speculation. We have
Like
no
the
idea. Because
Dominox would be like,
Matt
yeah.
made it very clear. I think Laura asked, like, do we know what Dominox? Have you ever heard that word? And Matt's like, you have never heard that word before.
I love it when he's
Very-
clear like that, like fucking stark black and white. I
Yes.
love that.
Yep. No speculation. Just nope. That's the first time you've ever heard this word before.
Do you have an iPhone, by the way?
No.
iPhones respond to knocks.
Oh, do they?
It turns off your flashlight. Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
You say, "Hey Siri, knocks."
Hmm.
My phone just reacted.
The flashlight is already turned off.
Did
There
you
we
hear
go.
that?
Yep.
Hey Siri,
I
Lumos.
found this on the web for. It's on now.
I think that's from Harry Potter, though.
Interesting.
Okay. Hey Siri, knocks.
It's off now.
Thanks. I don't know why I'm saying thanks to the microphone.
Always
I
be,
leaned over. to say
always be
thanks.
polite to the machines. You never know when they may uprise.
Exactly. And
Rise
also
up.
what?
Rise up.
Rise up. Oh, that's a very obscure reference now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
It is.
it's like
It
an
is.
eBay thing where it's like nobody knows where that comes from.
All right. It's your yes end, I suppose.
Man, yes ending. Shit, that was a long time ago. Okay, well I'm gonna yes and with like when they came back to Exandria, that was pretty fucking sweet. What Liliana did, she slowed down time so much that the reaction was just like nothing. That was sick. And then they Imogen rolled so badly on the
One, yeah.
yeah, she rolled a natural one on the
deception?
but it was the stealth roll first, right?
No,
in-
they did deception first, and then they did stealth later.
Oh, is
they
that what that
decided
was?
they talked
'Cause
about
they had
doing
to do one or the other or something.
Yeah, they talked about. They're like, no. It makes more sense to do deception here to try to make it look like they
because
belong.
you're right there. Of
Yeah.
course, you can't hide. Yeah.
Yep.
So Matthew also said, like, right when they got back, definite signs of battle. Like lots of just like, and he also one of the things he said was, like craters of explosions. And this was very interesting to me because I'm thinking like, okay, so maybe there was a front of Rylurans or somebody who came through the bloody bridge to attack or something like that. And I didn't make any sense of it because none of it made sense to me as far as like why would they be attacking unless it was a full-on front. What do you think?
I think that there was the he said that there were lots of holy symbols and pikes set up with suits of armor and things. I think the Vasselheim has been sending incursions in like crazy, lobbing bombs, lobbing airships, lobbing all kinds of stuff inside this excavation site, trying to destroy the Malleus Key.
Oh, so maybe that's where like the craters are from the explosion kind of shit.
That's what my take on it was.
Why would Vasselheim get involved?
Oh, because they're trying to kill the gods. Vasselheim is the holy city. That's the
Right.
whole reason why remember when they were up on Ruidus in the
Yeah, that makes
laboratory,
sense.
and they had there was the dude, the judicator.
Yeah.
They're doing an autopsy on. There was an alien autopsy on the judicator. Of
Yeah.
course they want that. Of course Vasselheim doesn't want this to happen because Vasselheim is the holy city.
Yeah, they've never seen a potential threat like this before.
Not like this. No.
Like when they
Well, Vecna coming in to destroy their city with an Earth Titan, that might have been close, but
Fairly
this
close,
is slightly different.
because like they're a fort. They've never been taken down, but that got pretty close in campaign 1. I mean, if the Titan got close, it would have been an issue. And they took some damage.
There would have been a lot of 20th level clerics going divine intervention right now.
Right. Yeah. Like, hey, I need this and I need this.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, how many number 20s we got?
Yeah, quite a
'Cause
few.
you get it,
in that
you
city,
get it.
They'll have quite a few.
Yeah. Because it's just a success, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
for level 20s.
Level 20 once a week. Yeah.
Which is probably why they are still a strong ass fort.
Yes. Also, the gods wouldn't allow Vecna to destroy it. It would be a fun thing to watch. It would be interesting. I don't know what Matt was thinking if they didn't stop it. Wonder what he had planned for that. Would have been fun to know if that, because he had to have thought of that. It's like, well, I need a plan B here. What happens if they don't succeed?
Right, in campaign
Is that
2.
Titan actually going to destroy, or is it, is he just going to ascend?
Yeah. I mean,
Who knows?
he would have to go into like, all right, well, this is an ancient city, so let's see how many people are here, level 20, divine intervention, divine intervention, divine intervention.
Mm-hmm.
Take the thing out, and then, all right, see you in campaign 2. Shit, that brought me right off track there.
Yeah, it's okay. I honestly, I'm looking at my notes. I only have like a couple of notes. I don't have much else to say
No,
about this episode.
On that note, yeah, it was very short basically for us, but
Yeah.
on that note though, like where's this? They're on a different continent, right? The Bloody Bridge and Vasselheim.
Yes.
They're on fucking
Yeah, Marquette.
Marquette, right?
And it's
Which is
Silra
quite
where
a ways
Vasselheim-
from Masilra, right?
Not that far. It's due south,
I'm trying
kind
to
of.
remember that fucking thing. I thought it was
Yeah.
like due south and
No,
quite a bit east.
It's not that far. I remember Vasselheim had sent up a whole bunch of airships, lots of airships filled
Right.
with adjudicators and priests and holy warriors, and the Dressar was filled up with airships from Vasselheim.
Okay, yeah.
We
That
learned
makes-
we learned that a bunch of it before they even went to the moon. we learned about that.
All right, that makes sense then. So there was an incursion from the Bloody Bridge, and Vasselheim is involved because Vasselheim is very pious as far as the
Yes.
gods are concerned.
Yes.
And what they're trying to do, apparently they are aware that it's a god eater that they're trying to release, and they say, we are on board because gods are our jam.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's what I'm putting together right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Vasselheim's definitely going to help them because they have the power to cause craters. And
That's right.
I think Vasselheim probably saved these motherfuckers at the Bloody Bridge.
Yep.
That's what it sounds like now.
Precisely.
Thank you very much, sir, for your input. We're already over an hour. Should we do one more, or what do you think?
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
do another one.
Okay. Mine are actually from the last episode.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and do it.
I got infinity.
I got a 9, just above infinity.
9.
Okay, I'm gonna say this one because I think it's a little bit more cerebral. How do you think Matt handled the failed assassination attempt against Liliana? Do you think he rolled, or do you think he just made a decision? Because at one point they saw her and she was like clearly she had been
Roughed
through a
up
battle,
a bit. Yeah.
but she was okay. Do you think he actually rolled dice off screen?
No, I think he made a decision.
Okay.
I think he made a series of calculated decisions that just sort of gaming it out. It would be this against that, and that wins. So I don't think he actually rolled dice. I think he just played it out in his head, and he was like, "Yeah, there's no way. She's far too powerful." If as a big if, she had access to Time Stop, which is likely what that spell was, or a modified version of Time Stop. Time Stop isn't a group thing. Time Stop is an individual thing. So for her to be able to do the entire party and and Time Stop stops, doesn't slow. And Matt was like, "No, you see them
very
slowly turning."
yeah.
So some weird version. There's no spell, as far as I know. There's no spell that exists like that. It's irregardless.
Sounds like Dunamancy.
It could be, or it's regardless. It's still that Time Stop is a 9th level spell. So for her to be able to do a 9th
Timestamp?
level spell
Oh, sorry.
is a 9th level spell, which means that's a pretty fucking high level whatever she is. Sorcerer.
That's why I'm thinking Dunamancy, you know?
Yeah, it
like
could be.
even the backpack gel packs were part of Dunamancy and all that shit, right? You
Yep.
know? And like Ludinus, fucking hell, of course Ludinus is involved with that. He's trying to find as
Sure.
much power as possible, right?
Yeah. So is that where she got that ability? or that power or that spell or whatever it was.
Perhaps. I mean, she told us about how, like, yeah, I was doing this research, and then Ludinus reached out to me,
Yep.
and then she got all, not in her words, but she got all brainwashed from the
Yeah.
moon and Predathos.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what any of it means. There's a thing that some DMs do, and I'm not saying that Matt's doing it, but there's a thing that some DMs do, whereas they create things to fit to drive the narrative.
Hey, I mean,
Yeah.
shit, I think that's how they make series happen past, like, the 5th season.
Matt said this a long time ago in campaign 2, actually, when Caleb was sort of rolling around the idea of making new spells, and it's what prompted Liam to make all of those wonderful, like, Widowgas Web of Fire and a bunch of other ones that he did. Was they really, it's you shouldn't be beholden to the rule book and to the wizard spells that are in there. You should be able to make your own with not permission, with collaboration with your DM, and make sure that it's you're realizing that it's not too powerful, that it works well, that it makes narrative sense, all of those things.
Yeah. We did talk about that a bit, maybe not on cast, but about how much money he spent on paper and magical ink and shit like that. And then it's like, he's like, yeah, I want to buy as much of this as possible,
Yeah.
And it never really had any fruits until he leveled up, and that was how he explained the new spells he got when he leveled up, because he made them.
Yeah, it really could be that Liliana has these extra spells and these all these extra things that she can do, or just like fun little things, blah blah blah. Yeah, maybe, sure, I buy it.
Yeah. You got a guess sound on that? I don't know if I want to
Not
roll
really,
again
but
because I
talking
got
about
one
like
left.
interesting spells, this is more a comment than an actual thing. I found it really really interesting because after you said that when Imogen fails that she rolled a natural 1 on the deception check as they're walking down the ramp toward out of the teleportation thing, the bloody bridge. I thought it was really interesting. I'd never thought of this before, where Laudna twinning a spell, twinning phantasmal force towards the two mystics, and then making Imogen look like Liliana. I was like, that's a really clever way of using. I have some raw problems, like read as written problems.
Rules as written. Yep.
I think read as written, rules as written, whatever you want to call it, RAW, it's the interpretation. The
Now there's an I for some reason.
rules as intended.
Oh, so they're raw and or
it's
or
the
right.
other it's the other way where you of looking at rules as written or read as written. Rules as intended,
those are kind of button
or read
heads,
as
right?
Intended. They do. Yeah, absolutely.
Rules as written or
And it's
rules
just
as
sort of
intended.
it's like
Yeah, okay.
it's how deep into that fucking rule lawyering you want to get into.
Anyway.
I thought it was kind of fun, and I'm kind of looking forward to using that kind of idea, because the way that I've always interpreted Phantasmal Force is more about a deception / damage. You're not even deception. You're more paralyzing the enemy.
Yeah.
It's like this is a mystical force, and it's something in your mind that your mind's making up. Kind of a fun way to do it. Probably not as intended, but sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Yep.
I mean, she did it pretty minorly, right? She was. What did she say? She was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make them think that this is Liliana."
Liliana, and then Imogen goes, "Yeah, no, you're not needed here. Go away."
Right.
Yeah,
And
clever. It's clever.
Yeah, even though she did roll a nat 1, that makes sense. Like, if
they both fail their saving throws, that combats
they're like,
that,
no,
and then
it
suddenly
definitely makes,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it looks like Liliana. So, and they both actually failed their saves, which is insane.
Yeah, totally.
I did not expect that at all. But then I was just thinking, like what's gonna happen if they, like they're gonna be taken to prison now? Like, I actually expected that. I'm like, oh fuck, so we're gonna start the next episode with this. Because like it coming back, like this is definitely a very heavily watched area.
Yes.
And clearly
Yes.
just after a battle, that there must have been an incursion of Railuran, whatever, coming from the moon.
100%, there has to be.
But the thing
Hey,
is,
listen, man, we're well over an hour. We should wrap this up here.
Sounds
I'm
good.
also
Yeah.
I'm also getting tired.
Yeah, me too. What question maybe just
Yep.
for the next week or whatever. It's like
Sure.
why would they launch little parties of battle? You know, like cuz clearly they lost because
Mhm.
these people are still here, they're tired, whatever, but clearly the Rylurans or whomever they sent through the bloody bridge lost the battle. So somebody's sending them through, just be like, "Okay, let's put a little pressure in there. All right, you guys go to your death. Go ahead."
Mhm.
You know, clearly that's happening. So like,
Yep.
why would they be doing this? Just to reduce the numbers, I guess. So these people are just totally like, all right, go down there and die, so that some of their numbers are lower. Is that
You're,
what's going on right now?
war is war, man.
You know, and it's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
And
I don't. So remember, they're being controlled by the weave mind. So
and Liliana, are you still convinced that there's a good purpose here?
yeah,
You
it's.
know, just food for thought.
I know.
You know, sending the Vanguard down, the entire
There's a
Vanguard is wiped out. Let's
there.
find a new Vanguard.
Liliana did say something interesting that that Ludinus made contact with the weave mind about 300 years ago. It sort of loosely coincides with corruption at Malayasmere, which it's about the same time. So it could have
I think
been.
you'd said that before, didn't
Yeah,
you?
we have. We sort of got some more confirmation about that as well. So Ludinus has been doing this for a while. He's got some stuff. They don't really. They're looking at this like they don't care about who they lose or don't lose. They've got
what
bigger
happens.
fish to fry. It's
Yeah.
a bit of a distraction, maybe. Hard to know.
Look at Icky Thong, you know?
Yeah,
Like his best students, he doesn't give a fuck about them, you know?
yeah,
Just like,
exactly.
as long as it brings you power, fuck
Right.
it. Look at,
Right.
what, Halas even, you know? Like,
Yep.
yeah, I bit off
Yep.
more than I could chew, and I fucked myself up. I'm in a gem
Right.
now or whatever, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like, yeah, dude, eventually it's going to fuck you up. All right, dude, that's all I got, too.
That's all I got. I'm done.
All right, cool. All right, man. Yeah, so sorry about missing this last week. No excuses. It was just
We got nothing next week because Candela Obscura is on next Friday, and we don't know what's happening with 93 in 2 weeks.
right.
Plain and
Yeah,
simple.
it could be a real short episode the next time we have one. Because I don't care about EXU stuff. I only care about what happens to Dorian, so that I know whether or not he
Yeah, there
answers his call.
might be a whole lot of oh god, here we go, and then skip. Oh, okay, cool. That's okay. All right, good.
Yeah, it's like,
We'll see.
Amy, stop trying to talk to the god. Just get through it. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
I know nothing against you, Amy. It's just like it's not Critical Role. That's it.
Yeah, not our game.
Like my game is Critical Role. If it's not
Mm-hmm.
Critical Role, I'm not gonna watch it. Sorry.
Agreed.
Anyway, dude, I have nothing to promote as far as like shows coming up or anything.
Nope.
All right, so follow Ben at Ben Greenspoon on all socials. Follow me at drummatucka, tucka a on Instagram. And if nothing else, dude,
No.
don't forget to love each other. And is it finally next Friday? Peace. There it is.
Peace out.
Okay, y'all. No, peace, y'all. All right. Catch you on the flip.
Word.
Oh, there it is. Peace.
Peace.